design optimization, performance analysis, and cost estimation of transformer using AI technology. He published one book and 7 papers and delivered more than 15 talks. Welcome you, sir. So in this session, uh, I request to all participants, please interact with sir and make this session very interactive. Welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you for such nice introduction. It would be a privilege for me to deliver a lecture. What I'm going to do is that during the session, I will keep my video off. Otherwise, sometimes it does happen that we do use a lot of bandwidth while delivering the lecture, and sometimes we do get a huge time lag when we load the PPTs. So what I'm planning to do is that during the lecture, I will keep my video off so that it does not use much bandwidth and we can get the desired speed. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon to all. Actually, today's topic, which I'm going to discuss, is future of online education. So, first of all, I'll share my screen. Okay, so let me confirm whether all of you are able to see my slide, my presentation.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible, but audio थोड़ा disturb हो रहा है, sir.
Okay. So that might be due to connectivity issue. In case if more disturbance is there, please do let me know. What we can do is that I will leave and then rejoin again. Sometimes it does help. Whenever we take online lectures, these type of problems do creep up. And what do we do is that I leave the meeting and then once again join. Correct. When we do these type of things, sometimes the problem gets solved automatically. So please do let me know if we have a lot of disturbance, then I'll do that.
Okay, sir. Continue, sir.
Okay. So now, today we are going to discuss about the future of online education. Now, see, the topic is somewhat dicey. Whenever we say that we want to predict something, what does it mean? See, we are living in an unpredictable, chaotic, and volatile world in which predicting anything becomes very, very difficult. See, if you remember, before a few days, everything was going properly. You might be knowing buses were running, stadiums were full, and everything was going normally. And just in a span of few days, we have seen what has happened. Correct. Stadiums are empty, buses are not running, lockdowns imposed in some of the countries. In some of the major cities in Gujarat, night curfew has been imposed. So predicting anything becomes very difficult. Now let us see in terms of engineering, if we want to predict the future or if we want to predict something, what do we do? Correct. We generally use artificial neural networks to predict something, to predict the future. If we want to forecast the load, then what do? We use artificial neural networks. In that, what do is that we have a set of inputs, we have a set of target outputs, and then what do? We just train the network in such a way using some algorithms so that we get the desired outputs. Once the network is trained, we can present a set of unknown data to the network. And in this way, we can predict the future behavior of any particular system. But here, in case of online education, it is not possible. Correct. We cannot use artificial neural networks in this predicting the future of online education. So what should we do? Suppose if we want to understand where the future of this online education lies, then what should we do? Okay. Then in that case, what should be done is, we should first of all try to have an overview of what is basically online education. And then we should try to evaluate the merits as well as the demerits. Means we should try to find what are the merits, what are the demerits of online education. And based on that, correct, we can try to predict as to what is going to happen in near future. Fine. So first of all, let us see the overview of the online education. See, the concept of traditional education has changed drastically. If you see here, what was there in traditional education? The concept of traditional education, in that what we used to do is, we were present physically in the class, we as well as students, correct? We used to remain physically present in the class, as well as students used to remain present in the class, and we used to teach. But now, the concept of traditional education has changed radically, or I can say drastically. Not radically, but even drastically, I can say like it has changed a lot. Correct. Being physically present in a classroom is not the only option anymore. Correct. So if you want to learn something, it is not necessary that you should be present physically in the class. Not with the rise of internet and new technologies. Correct. With the rise of internet and with the rise of new technologies such as online meetings, correct, online presenting, online conferences and all that. Now, being physically present in the classroom is not the option. There are many, many options available. And nowadays, you have access to a quality education. Now you can access any quality education. See, many universities, they are offering online education. You can do many online courses. You have Coursera, you have EDX. And if you consider the Indian scenario, then we have this NPTEL Swayam chapter, which is going on. Correct. So nowadays, you have the access to a quality education whenever and wherever you want, as long as you have access to a computer. And let me add one thing. Here you also don't need a computer. If you have a mobile, then also you can learn. So the only thing which is required is the zeal and the enthusiasm to learn a subject, particular topic. Correct. If you have that zeal and enthusiasm, then you can learn from anywhere. So now what we are doing is that now we are entering into a new era. Now we are entering into a new phase, I should say, a new era. That is the revolution of online education. Correct. We are entering into this revolution. It is just a revolution, I should say like that, of online education. Correct. Now, see, what is the opinion of experts? Let us try to understand that. See, many experts believe that online learning is the future of education. Correct. Many of the experts, they say that online learning is the future of education. Why? Because as technology becomes more widely available, correct, an increasing number of students, they will gain access to the kind of knowledge that can vastly improve their career prospects and maybe even the world. Correct. So technology is now widely available. Each and everyone has the access to a mobile, has the access to a PC, has the access to an internet. Earlier, data charges were very, very high. Correct. Now, data charges have gone down considerably. This we have seen. Correct. During the last couple of years, the data charges have gone down drastically. And now each and everyone can afford. So I can say that technology is now more widely available. Correct. And as a result of this, more and more number of students can gain the access to the kind of knowledge which can help them in improving their career prospects. So online learning will enable the students in developing countries, particularly in developing countries, to study subjects like coding or computer programming or all types of engineering. And this will help in driving innovation all over the globe. Correct. Because this will help. Because now you are connected to the global village. Fine. So you can know what is going on in each and every corner of the world. And as a result of which, as you are connected to the world, it helps you a lot. So now the question comes to our mind that is online learning the future of education? क्या सचमुच ऑनलाइन लर्निंग है वही फ्यूचर है एजुकेशन का? Let us try to analyze this critically. Correct. So in the past, what used to happen was if you wanted to get a qualification, अगर आपको कोई भी qualification लेना है, or even simply learn something new, you would sign up for a course, you would pay the relevant fees, and then physically attend the course. This is the thing which we used to do, and this is the thing which we have been doing since years. Correct. Okay. But that was until the online revolution, online learning revolution started. If you see the Global Shapers survey of 25,000 young people, correct, it has been found, ये 25,000 young people का survey किया गया था, and it was found across the world that 77.84% of the respondents, what they said was they reported that having taken the online courses, they responded that they had taken online courses in the past. So around 77% of the students had already studied some online courses. So again, that question comes to our mind. So is online learning the future of education? Let us try to analyze. So first of all, let us try to understand which are the different types of online education. Correct. See, online education takes two major forms. Correct. There are two major forms of online education. The first is for credit course. What do you mean by credit course? Credit course means that where students are enrolled in some tertiary education and they take online classes that are offered by some home institute or other higher education learning institutes. So there are some courses which are offered by some home institute or other higher education learning institutions for earning credit. See, I would like to tell you one thing, that before a couple of years, if I am not wrong, BVM has started this practice that if in a particular semester, you take up this course of NPTEL, it will give you extra credits. And ultimately, the thing is that the students have to accumulate specified number of credits in a particular course to pass that course. Correct. And even in abroad universities, it is like that only. You have to earn certain credits. And if you are able to achieve that milestone, you are declared as successful. Correct. So this BVM Institute, if I'm not wrong, before a couple of years, it has started. Whether it is still running or not, I don't know, but I'm not sure that it was started before a couple of years, and they are implementing this. Okay. So some of the well-known cases include the MIT OpenCourseWare, as well as the Harvard Online Learning. And I think even GTU should also do this. Correct. GTU should encourage the students to participate or to get enrolled in some type of NPTEL courses. And if they are able to clear it successfully, they should give some extra credits. This can be done. If other universities can do, we can also do it. Correct. So this is the first form. The second form of online education. Now, what is the second form of online education? The second form of online education consists of a professional training and certification. Such online learning is usually targeted at professionals. See, I have seen many professionals. When I appeared for 3 or 4 exams at NPTEL स्वयं, correct? NPTEL स्वयं के मैंने भी 3-4 exams दिए हैं. I had seen कि कई बहुत 40-50 साल के जो आदमी थे वो भी एग्जाम देने आ रहे. And believe me, they were not professors. They were professionals. They were not professors in an education institute. They were serving in some companies. But to enhance their knowledge or to gain some kind of increment, because see what they do is they say that if you are able to do this, if you know this, some of the private companies, correct, they give extra incentives. So I had seen many of the professionals doing this. Correct. So such type of online learning is usually targeted at professionals or sometimes even students seeking training or preparation for certification exams. So not for earning extra credits, but for students, what they do is not for earning extra credits, but to get trained, correct, in a particular domain. They go for these type of courses. Fine. So popular courses, they include training in foreign languages also, accounting or nursing, or it can be anything. This list can continue. Correct. I should have put an etc. there. This list can continue. See, why do we need to learn foreign languages? Suppose if you want to settle in a certain province in Canada, for example, if you want to settle in Quebec, Montreal, correct, then in that province, majority of the people, they speak French along with English. So if somebody wants to settle there, correct, then what he or she should do? They should learn these kind of foreign languages. Even some students are learning German languages because you know that in Germany, they prefer persons who can speak German language properly. Correct. They do not emphasize too much on English language. Correct. So many of our students who are going or who are planning to go for further studies in Germany, what they do is they try to learn German language. Now, if online education did not exist, suppose, let us assume for the time being that if online education does not exist, then what will happen is they will be in a fix. They will not be able to learn this, or they may learn, but with great amount of difficulty. So, in the Global Shaper survey, around 48% of the respondents said that they would be willing to pursue certification for certain skills, including online certification, once they have started their working careers. Means once they start working in a company, around 50%, 48% of the youth, they said that we would like to take up some online certification program. So this again speaks about the large potential and market for online education. Now see, one thing is certain, that each and every, suppose if we consider this online education, it has some positive points as well as it has some negative points. Means there are some merits, there are some demerits. And we have to evaluate them critically to understand the future of education. So what we will do is, first of all, let us try to understand the merits, then we will try to understand the demerits, and then we will try to make a conclusion as to what is in future for us. Okay. So now, what are the, first of all, let us see the merits or the benefits of online education. See, what is the benefit? The first benefit is flexibility. Flexibility means what? Online education, see, it enables the teacher and the student to set their own learning. And there's the added flexibility of setting up a schedule that fits everyone's agenda. See, what happens is that suppose if I am busy in college, say this is the working day, and suppose if I'm busy and if I'm not able to engage the lecture, then what can I do is I can schedule a lecture even on Saturday night or even on Sundays, that is possible. Correct. So I have the flexibility. And I actually earlier what used to happen was, suppose if I want to take an extra lecture, then I used to first of all take the permission from the principal that I want to extra lecture on this holiday, and I would like to request you to open this college. So you please give necessary instructions to the concerned peon or something like that, so that our college is open on holidays. Now that used to create a lot of problem. Now this problem does not exist at all. You have the flexibility. Correct. If you want to engage lectures on, say, Sunday or any other public holiday, you are free to do so. And this has been a boon for us. Why? Because suppose if I want to take a CL on a particular, if I want to be on leave on a particular day, and if I'm not able to engage the lecture, then I had to ask somebody to engage my lecture. मुझे किसी को बोलना पड़ता था कि भाई तुम जरा मेरा लेक्चर ले लेना. ठीक है, ये प्रॉब्लम्स होती थी, अब उसको भी पसंद नहीं आता था कभी कभी. May happen, correct. But now actually things have changed. Now it is not required. We can take our lecture anytime we wish. So we have this flexibility. So having a common agenda between the student and the teacher can also prompt both the parties to accept new responsibilities and have more autonomy. You are having more autonomy. You are having more freedom to schedule your lecture anytime. Okay. Then you have the option of wide selection of programs. See, in case of online programs, if you see, there are wide number of topics on which these courses are offered. So a growing number of universities and higher education schools are offering online version of their program. They offer online version of their programs for various levels and for various disciplines. And the range goes from music composition to artificial intelligence. You can learn music. You can also learn courses on AI. You can learn courses on dance. Correct. There are options for every type of student. So studying your program online is a great option for getting an official certificate, diploma or degree without physically setting a foot on the university campus. So without actually going to the campus, correct, you can get some certificate, which can help you a lot in your professional career. So there are option is there. Correct. You have wide option and you can select any program. The other thing is, the other benefit is the accessibility. Now, what do you mean by accessibility? See, online education enables you to study or teach from anywhere in the world. If I want to attend the lecture of a professor from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I can. Correct. Because, see, it is not necessary to commute from one place to another. ठीक है, up down करने की जरूरत नहीं है. It is not necessary to commute from one place to another or follow a rigid schedule. And on the top of that, not only do you save time, but you also save money. Correct. Suppose if you want to go to a college, if you are doing up down, and see, if you are commuting daily, you are also commuting, students are also commuting, so students are also spending money, you are also spending money. Correct. आप 50 किलोमीटर दूर जाते हो, ठीक है, up down करते हो. Many of them I have seen commuting daily to distant colleges from Ahmedabad. They are spending a lot of money. Even students are spending a lot of money. Correct. So, if there is online education, what you can do is you can save money, which can be spent on other priorities. So, you can spend your money on some other priority of yours. Correct. So, this is the advantage which you have. So, this virtual classroom is also available anywhere, wherever there is an internet connection. The only thing which is required is the internet connection. Correct. Okay. This is one benefit. The other benefit is the customized learning experience. Now, what do you mean by customized learning experience? See, online classes tend to be smaller than conventional class size. Now, somebody may argue with this. How they are smaller? Actually, they are bigger. Correct. So many of them may argue कि online classes में तो 100 भी आ सकते हैं, 200 भी आ सकते हैं, 500 भी आ सकते हैं. तो वो bigger भी है और smaller भी है. ठीक है, they are bigger as well as smaller. How? Let us see. I'll explain. See, suppose you might have experienced that if you get enrolled in a say NPTEL Swayam course, and if you have doubt, correct, you can discuss that doubt in the discussion forum. Correct, you have a thing called discussion forum. और आप अगर कोई question पूछोगे, correct, then that answer will be given to you in that discussion forum. Means you have the customized learning experience. See, sometimes it does happen कि कभी कभार क्या students जो है वो पूरी class में doubt पूछने से हिचकिचाते हैं. They are somewhat hesitant to ask about their doubts in a physical class. Correct. Okay, they are somewhat reluctant due to various reasons. Correct. But if you have this online education, correct, if I am enrolled in a class of a person, of a professor of say IIT, now I don't know him, he doesn't know me, I can ask any doubt I wish. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि उसको खराब लगेगा, क्योंकि मैं उसको personally जानता भी नहीं हूँ, वो भी मुझे personally नहीं जानता. So I can ask any doubt in that discussion forum, and that will be replied. Correct. So the thing is that, so that's why I'm saying that online classes tend to be smaller than the conventional size, because only one student at a time. How only one student at a time? Because each and every student will get the reply if he or she asks any doubt. And this allows for greater interaction and more feedback between you and your tutor. Correct. Also, the thing is that there's often access to very diverse materials such as videos, photos, e-books. Correct. And tutors can also integrate other formats like forums, which I told you, or discussions to improve their lessons. And this extra content, all this extra material, is available at any moment from anywhere, which will offer you a more dynamic and tailor-made education. So it looks as if this is a tailor-made education, particularly for you. This is the advantage which you have. And this I have already discussed that it is cost effective than traditional education. Why cost effective? I have discussed that online education, it tends to be more affordable because you don't have to commute. Correct. Also, there are wide range of payment options available that you can pay in installments or plus per class. Correct. This allows for better budget management. Correct. Many of them offer huge discounts. See, why they can offer huge discounts? कि अगर आप physical class में पढ़ाते हो तो एक आदमी कम से कम 60 बच्चों को पढ़ा सकता है. अब online मैंने बोला smaller भी है और bigger भी है. You can teach to 1,000 students also. तो अगर आप 1,000 students को एक साथ आपके क्लास में enroll होते हैं तो you can offer a discount. ठीक है. मैंने कई ऐसे private tutors भी देखे हैं कि जैसे 599 रुपीस में ये कोर्स, 999 रुपीस में ये कोर्स, और ये बहुत अच्छे कोर्सेज होते हैं. करेक्ट. I know that. I will give you one example. There is one teacher who teaches Pentium microprocessor, who teaches ARM controller, who teaches other microprocessors. Correct. At a very effective cost rate. You have to pay the fees. You can see his videos for 6 months, and after you cannot download the videos. Correct. उसने पूरा ऐसा system रखा है कि you cannot download the videos. You can only see for 6 months. That subscription is for 6 months. Once 6 months are over, you cannot see his videos. But so, in just 999 rupees, if you are able to learn about Pentium, what is wrong in it? Correct. Okay. क्योंकि अभी तो हम जब बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं वो 8085, 8086 और 8051 कंट्रोलर ही पढ़ाते हैं. ठीक है. अगर ये एडवांस प्रोसेसर पढ़ना है, कैसे पढ़ेंगे? सिर्फ 1,000 रुपए भर दो, you can learn. Correct. So, because they are giving discounts, because many of them, they are getting enrolled. तो वो भी ज्यादा डिस्काउंट दे सकते हैं. Okay. And other benefit is that it promotes lifelong learning. Now, why I am saying lifelong learning? Correct. See, what happens is that whenever we attend any lecture, we tend to forget it within 10 to 15 days. मान लो कि आज कोई प्रोफेसर ने पढ़ाया है, तो हम क्या 10-15 दिन में वो भूल जाते हैं. फिर हमें याद करना पड़ता है कि उस क्लास में प्रोफेसर ने क्या पढ़ाया था. लेकिन अगर आपके पास ऑनलाइन लेक्चर है, तो उसका रिकॉर्डेड वर्जन है, then what will happen is that if you become interested in a certain topic and if you are not able to understand, correct, if you are interested in a certain topic, correct, if you are not able to understand, what you can do is you can see that again and again. Correct. You can see that, you can again go online and you can again look it up. Means for lifetime you can see it. So that's why I'm saying that it promotes lifelong learning. Correct. Because these lectures are always available to you. Correct. I'm not saying that all the lectures are always available. Some of them I told you, they are subscription based. They are available only for 6 months. But some of them are lifelong. Correct. You can always see them whenever you wish, so that you can refresh your memory. ठीक है. तो अगर कोई लेक्चर आपने ऑनलाइन लिया है, ठीक है, तो वो हमेशा रहेगा अगर आपने रिकॉर्डिंग डाउनलोड कर दी है. ठीक है. You are recorded and you are downloaded. Fine. Then it will be with you for the whole of your life. Correct. So you can see it as and when you wish. Correct. This is the advantage which you are having. Okay. So the other benefit is online courses connect you to global village. Correct. You are connected to the whole world. So no technological invention in the history of man has connected the people of the world like the internet. Correct. All are connected with each other. Now suppose if you want to see a picture made by Michelangelo, you know, he was a great painter. Correct. Then you will have to go to Italy. Correct. Because he was from Italy. If you are interested in painting and you want to see the artworks of Michelangelo, then you have to go to Italy. But now here you can go to Italy virtually. You can go to Italy virtually. and C is paintings. Correct. You go there virtually through internet. Correct. So you can learn about the Amazon rainforest or the history of China or the customs of islanders in the South Pacific and whatnot. Correct. So if you participate in the global learning days or online events, you may even meet and make friends with someone in another country. तो इस तरह से आप करते हो तो क्या होता है कि you can make friends even with those who are like-minded. Correct. और abroad में भी आप friends बना सकते हो. ठीक है. So it is a small world after all. Correct. Okay. Now see one thing. So we have discussed the benefits of online education. Now, before discussing the drawbacks or the demerits, what we are going to do is कि मैं आपको 3 video clips दिखाना चाहता हूँ. तीनों video clips लंबी नहीं है. One is around say 3 to 4 minutes. Another is around say 7 to 8 minutes, and the third one is of 5 minutes. तो ये मैं 3 video clips क्यों आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ? See, the reason is that कि अगर ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन नहीं होता तो ये मुझे कभी पता नहीं चलता. करेक्ट. क्या है वो मैं आपको बताने वाला हूं. आई एम गोइंग टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट इट टू यू. करेक्ट. सी जनरली व्हाई आई एम गोइंग टू शो these 3. There is one reason. See, in engineering what happens is that students generally tend to run away from mathematics and to some extent from physics also. Correct. Students find this mathematics very challenging. करेक्ट. उनको बहुत दिक्कत होती है मैथ्स से. ठीक है. और डिप्लोमा वाले तो खास. ठीक है. डिप्लोमा टू डिग्री में जब आते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, दे टेंड टू रन अवे फ्रॉम मैथमेटिक्स. सी मैथमेटिक्स इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट. तो उनको हम कैसे इंटरेस्टिंग बना सकते हैं? या तो कई चीजें जो हमें कभी मालूम ही नहीं. तो इफ ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन डिड नॉट एग्जिस्ट देन दीज वुड हैव बीन नेवर नोन. कभी पता ही नहीं चलता. ठीक है. तो अभी जो है फर्स्ट वीडियो, डोंट स्टार्ट दैट वीडियो राइट नाउ. ये जो लिंक मैंने दी है, करेक्ट, डोंट स्टार्ट दैट नाउ. आई विल टेल यू व्हेन टू स्टार्ट. करेक्ट. सी in mathematics we learned that 0 factorial is 1. 0 factorial is 1. Now why I am going to show this video clip to you? There is one reason. When I was in 11th standard, when I was studying in 11th standard, correct, I asked my teacher, okay, why this 0 factorial is 1? जैसे हम लिखते हैं कि 3 factorial. So how do we write? 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1. Correct. We say it is 6. Suppose we say 4 factorial, then we know it is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Correct. So we know this factorials. We have studied this in schools. Correct. Is 24 and so on. But my teacher told me that 0 factorial is 1. And we know 0 factorial is 1. But why? We don't know. So if some students ask, जैसे मैंने पूछा था अपने टीचर से कि सर ये 0 factorial 1 क्यों आता है? Correct. So sir told me, I don't know. You have to assume. The result is given, you have to assume. So now, see, I have given you this link of this video clip. You have to see up to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. जैसे ही आप वीडियो आपका ये खत्म हो जाता है, you write yes in the chat box. You will enjoy this video. उसमें उसने ये सिखाया है कि how 0 factorial is 1. ठीक है. तो आप किस तरह से मैथमेटिक्स को इंटरेस्टिंग बना सकते हो, इसलिए मैंने सिर्फ 2-3 क्लिप्स दिखाने का सोचा है. I have just decided to show 2 to 3 video clips to you. Correct. So how you can make any particular subject interesting. अगर ये online education नहीं होता, तो we could have never done that. Correct. Okay. So now you can click on this video link. Correct. If okay, I can do this. I can paste the video link in the chat box. What I do is I will paste this video link in the chat box. So you can click directly on it. Just a minute. Let me paste this in the chat box. Just a minute. There is some problem. I joined 2 times or what? Oh, okay, multiple times I have joined. Okay, okay, okay. There is one problem. Just a minute. I joined multiple times. That's why there was an issue. Okay. So now I am pasting the link in the chat box. Correct. So now you can go to that link, see that video clip, और जैसे आपका ये खत्म हो जाता है, you just write yes in the chat box. If you have any question, you can write or speak out. Okay, so I assume that majority of the participants have seen this clip. Okay, I would like to ask Professor Brijesh or Professor Ashfaq, have they seen, all the participants, they have seen this clip?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, see, actually we are going to see only 3, but there are some very nice, interesting video clips. और हम ये स्टूडेंट्स को दिखा सकते हैं. So this is the actually benefit of online education. तो मैंने तो सिर्फ 3 क्लिप्स रखी है, ठीक है. दूसरी जो क्लिप है, I'll discuss about that also, and that is, see, again, one thing. See, we know that 1 by 0, you try to divide by 0, we say it is infinity. Sometimes we say that 1 by 0 is undefined. Sometimes we say that 1 by 0 is undefined. अब स्टूडेंट्स कभी कभार ये क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, ठीक है, कि बेसिकली इंफिनिटी है या अनडिफाइंड. करेक्ट, विच वन इज करेक्ट, कौन सा सही है. मैं मान लो कि इफ यू ट्राई टू डिवाइड बाय 0, वेदर इट इज इंफिनिटी और अनडिफाइंड, करेक्ट, विच वन इज ट्रू, which answer is true? Should we say it is undefined or should we say it is infinity? So now if you, okay, let me tell you one thing. अभी जो आपने video clip देखी, the clip which you saw just now, it is of Professor Eddie Wu. Correct. He is a professor of mathematics in one of the universities in Australia. Correct. Okay. So he explains mathematics in such a way so that it becomes interesting for the students. Okay. He also explains कि जैसे हम calculus पढ़ते हैं, तो ये calculus नाम कहाँ से आया? See, if you remember, जब हम dentist के पास जाते हैं, when we go to a dentist, he sometimes say that there is calculus in your teeth. Correct. There is a calculus in your teeth. किसी ने डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट करवाई होगी तो मालूम होगा. करेक्ट. ओके, सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय कैलकुलस? कैलकुलस मींस वेरी स्मॉल पेबल्स. मींस अर्लियर सी वी यूज्ड टू काउंट विद स्मॉल पेबल्स और स्टोन्स. करेक्ट. बट एक्चुअली उसका नाम कैलकुलस नहीं है, इन्फिनिटेसिमल कैलकुलस, ऐसा नाम. इट इज वेरी हार्ड टू प्रोनाउंस फॉर मी. उसका मतलब है वेरी स्मॉल. वेरी स्मॉल मींस व्हाट? कि एट ए पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट. तो ये कैलकुलस नाम क्यों पड़ा? करेक्ट. तो वो भी वो समझाते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ सी दिस सेकंड वीडियो क्लिप. इट इज फ्रॉम 1.42 seconds up to 9 seconds. Correct. Okay, I will again paste this video clip in your chat box so that it becomes easy for you. And once again, if you finish, you can write yes in the chat box. I have written, see again, please start seeing the video clip from 1.42 seconds. This I have told you. Start seeing the video clip from 1.42 seconds up to 9 seconds and he will answer. ये आपको आंसर देगा कि 1 by 0 infinity होना चाहिए या undefined. Correct. So you will enjoy this. Now just a minute. Okay, so I hope pasted the link in your chat box. Now you can go and see, and once it is done, you can write again yes in the chat box.
Sir, are you speaking something? Because voice is not there.
Um, okay, now are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. So I think there was some audio problem. Okay. So see, okay. So in that case, you might not have heard this. See this video clip. You can see it afterwards. I will paste it in the chat box. It is not required now. Correct. You can see it at your own convenience. See, this clip is related to basics of static electricity. Correct. In that, the professor interestingly demonstrates why our hairs are raised. Why our hairs are raised when we are exposed to some kind of static electricity. Actually, what happens? So, if you want to explain this concept to the students, it can be explained beautifully by showing this video to the students. Now, this was possible only because of the fact because we have this access to online education. Fine. Okay, so majority of the participants, they have replied yes. So now let us concentrate on the demerits of online education. What are the demerits? See, now I am saying that online classes require more time than on-campus classes. Correct. Now, why I am saying that they take more time or they require more time? See, what happens is that if you want to ask doubt to a teacher, then you can ask the professor directly and he will answer. But suppose here, if you want to ask a doubt, you might have seen in NPTEL courses, you have to ask a doubt by writing a question in the chat box. Even here also, suppose if you have some doubt and if you want to ask me, it would be better if you write something in the chat box rather than asking me directly. Correct. So what happens is you write, then I will see, and after some time, as and when I find time, I will be able to answer that question. So what happens is that the online environment is text based. Actually, what happens is that online environment, it is text based. To communicate with your instructor and other students, you must type messages, post responses, or otherwise communicate using your fingers. That is through typing. And as you can probably guess, typing is naturally slower than speaking. So that's why online classes require more time. Even I have experienced that. See, right now we all are taking lectures online. Correct. आप सभी प्रोफेसर हैं, आपको मालूम आप सब ऑनलाइन लेक्चर्स ले रहे हो. तो जो टॉपिक मैं 1 घंटे में पहले खत्म कर सकता वही टॉपिक का आज 1.5 घंटा. I have experienced that. The topic which I am able to finish, which I was able to finish earlier, correct, during the time when physical classes were going on. Correct. At that time, जो टॉपिक मैं आधे घंटे में पौने घंटे में फिनिश कर सकता था, now it takes around. This I have experienced. Correct. Because you are not directly looking into the eyes of the students. If you look at the eyes of the students, you can automatically get the feedback as to whether they are understanding. But since there is no direct contact with the students, we are not able to understand whether they are fully comprehending what we are speaking or not. Correct. Whether they are able to comprehend what we are speaking. Correct. So what happens is we have to go very slowly. And this also does take a lot of time. Correct. So they are somewhat, they require more time as compared to this physical classes. Okay, online classes make it easier for you to procrastinate. Now see, generally what happens is that generally we do procrastinate in online classes. Means हम जो है unnecessary delay करते हैं sometimes. See, what happens is if the due date of is say it is 30th March, तो हम 29 मार्च तक तो असाइनमेंट करेंगे ही, कि 30th March ड्यू डेट ना कर देंगे. But suppose if you are studying with all your peers in the class, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि आपके दोस्त ने तो ये कर दिया है, तो चलो मुझे भी कर देना चाहिए. Correct. So what happens is there is no one reminding you of the assignments. आप क्लास में जाते हो तो आपको मालूम है टीचर डांटेंगे या तो प्रोफेसर डांटेंगे, तो स्टूडेंट्स उस हिसाब से भी जो है जल्दी असाइनमेंट्स खत्म कर देते हैं. Correct. Because they fear that professors might scold them. Correct. So there is that fear in that mind. In case of online classes, you are not directly looking into the eyes of the professor, and so what students they tend to do is they tend to procrastinate. So there is unnecessary delay. So here, in case of online classes, there is no one to preach you plead you to stay on the top of your coursework. It's easy to put off reading and assignments in the online environment. Before you know it, weeks have gone by, you haven't done any homework, and then there is exam time. These type of things do happen in case of online classes. Then the other thing, which is this sense of isolation. You are all alone in your room while studying. So in an online course, what happens is that no one can hear you scream, and that causes discomfort. Correct. You are studying only with your computer, and that can be sometimes terrifying because you don't have companions, you don't have friends. Correct. There is no whispering in the back of the room, no wise remarks. कभी कभार क्लास में ऐसा होता है ना, पीछे से कोई जो है क्लास में बैठ के कोई कमेंट पास करता है या कुछ बोलता है, or there is no wise remarks from the peanut gallery. What do you mean by peanut gallery? Some students have a tendency to throw peanuts, correct, at the professor, mischievous students. All these things, they are gone. And there is no commanding presence at the front of the classroom who is telling you that please be quiet. So nobody is there. Correct. So the online environment is a much different atmosphere, and it does take some time to getting used to it. Correct. It does take some time to getting used to it. Correct. So sometimes students do feel a sense of isolation. I have seen many students, correct, they want to come to the college just to meet their friends. अभी अभी आपने देखा होगा कि ऑफलाइन एजुकेशन शुरू हुआ था, ठीक है, अभी तो फिर से वो online mode में चला गया है. But you might have seen that students wanted to come to the college just to meet their companions because they were isolated in their homes. Correct. So this is the problem in online education. Okay. And other thing is that online classes or online courses require you to be an active learner. Correct. Suppose अगर मैं कोई lecture ले रहा हूँ, then students have to listen to it actively. Otherwise, they will not be able to understand. Correct. So you have to be an active learner. So students have to concentrate hard to understand the concepts. No doubt. The thing is that if you are not able to understand, the lecture can always be repeated. But that is possible if and only if the lecture is recorded. Otherwise, it is not possible. So also sitting in the front of a computers for hours at a stretch. See, in case of online education, what you have to do is you have to sit in front of the computers for hours at a stretch. And it does affect the concentration. And as humans, we have this tendency to zone out after a certain period of time. Correct. So these are the demerits. Correct. Okay. Other thing is more freedom. Now this should be an advantage. How it can be a demerit? It should be a merit, but it is a demerit. Why? I'll tell you. Correct. Online courses, correct, they give you more freedom perhaps than you can handle it. Online courses give you more freedom perhaps than you can handle it. Particularly for students. Correct. वहाँ पे तो क्या है कि parents जो है वो बच्चों को बोलते हैं go to college. Correct. यहाँ पे तो जो है उनको मालूम है कंप्यूटर के सामने बैठ के कुछ पढ़ रहे हैं. अब parents don't know whether they are actually studying, playing some games or something like that. Correct. So वहाँ पे तो क्या है कि कॉलेज में नहीं जाते हैं other students. So naturally, what the professors will do, they will put a list of students who are having less attendance. Correct. And they will send it to their parents also. यहाँ पे तो पेरेंट्स को ऐसा लगेगा कि ओके बच्चा जो है कंप्यूटर के सामने बैठा है तो पढ़ रहा है. करेक्ट. वो शायद ना भी पढ़ता हो. So you have more freedom. Correct. But this is the freedom more than you can handle it. So in most of the cases, neither the parents nor their peers know. Correct. Neither the parents nor their peers know how much one has been able to learn through online education. This can sometimes seriously jeopardize one's career. Correct, it can happen. Okay, so now, so these are the challenges. I cannot say demerits, but these are the challenges. So regardless of these concerns, online education, no doubt, these are the concerns which we have seen in online education. But regardless of these concerns, correct, online education has made great strides in recent years. It is increasing day by day. For starters, more and more institutions of higher education have introduced or reinforced their online education platforms. Correct. Why? Because the main considerations are cost reduction for students and recruitment expansion. Now, why I am saying recruitment expansion? See, you might have seen that in campus interview, अगर आप LD का ही जो एग्जांपल ले लो, LD कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग का ही एग्जांपल ले लो, तो एक्सेंचर कंपनी ने पूरे के पूरे इंटरव्यू के 4 स्टेज उसने ऑनलाइन कंडक्ट. करेक्ट. तो एक्चुअली व्हाट दे डिड वाज, और कितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स के किए. करेक्ट. ओके. So there were 4 rounds of interviews. All were conducted online. Correct. First round was this aptitude, second coding, the third was this communication skill, and the fourth was personal interview. Correct. Or they did not set a foot on their campus, and they did all these things. Correct. So, sorry. So recruitment expansion. And they, why I'm saying recruitment expansion? Because they were conducting all these interviews in a parallel fashion. Means they were conducting these interviews in more than 1 colleges at a time. Correct. Through online process. Okay. So this was the advantage they had. Correct. So as a result, because of this, not only study, but also recruitment is taking place. Correct. So this is the advantage. So no doubt there are challenges, but the advantages are also there. And sometimes they far outweigh the challenges. Okay. So now, again, this other problem is to tackle the question of teaching quality. See, we don't know how a teacher is teaching in the online classes. So number of providers have turned to user rating. We can give rating and internal evaluation. Means students can evaluate the teacher. Means there can be a star teacher who has become a popular teacher. Correct. And these actually method has been adopted in China and South Korea, which are considered to be the 2 of the largest e-learning. Okay. So overall, such progress seems to have eased the doubt about the quality of teaching. And about 40% of the respondents in Global Shapers survey said that online education is as strong as traditional learning in a classroom, with another 11.76% said that they were not able to decide. And the others said that physical classes are desirable, more desirable as compared to online classes. Okay, so now let us go to the crux of the matter. Correct. Okay. Will online education replace the traditional classroom education? Means, will the traditional classroom education cease to exist? Let us try to answer this question. कि क्या physical education कभी रहेगा या रहेगा ही नहीं? Correct. Will it continue to exist or not? Okay. I think not really. This is my opinion. Why? Because both have their unique characteristics that make them worthwhile. People will learn to use the 2 together. So it may continue to run in blended mode. Correct. However, when it comes to debate of one over the other, especially for college education, that the truth is that online education, I feel, can never replace an in-campus experience. क्योंकि बच्चा जो यहाँ पे आके जो कैंपस में सबके साथ रह के जो सीखता है, correct, that can never be replaced by online education. Because here they learn how to communicate with their peers, how to communicate with the professors. They get trained as individuals. They are groomed. This kind of grooming can never happen in an online education. So I can say that online and offline, this is my opinion, online and offline both are going to stay. Because there are many, many advantages of online education. But it cannot replace the traditional classroom teaching. This is what I feel. Why? Now, why? Let us try to answer this question. See, in engineering, you know, hands-on experience for students is inevitable. Suppose if you are performing one practical, say synchronization of an alternator, correct? So, सिर्फ हम online पे दिखा दो ये practical, the students will never learn it properly. No doubt. Superficially, yes, they will understand. Correct. They may have a cursory glance as to what is going on. Correct. But अगर आप ये students lab में आते हैं, correct, खुद connections करते हैं, ठीक है, हम जो connections बोले वो खुद करते हैं, ठीक है, they do it connections themselves, correct, then and then only they will be able to understand it properly. So without proper practical knowledge, engineering knowledge is incomplete. You may take lectures online, but then also there is a problem. See, suppose if you want to explain any concepts in 3 dimensions, for example, take the case of a subject of engineering graphics. Faculty members who are teaching engineering graphics, they are finding it very difficult to conduct the lectures online. Correct? Because you have to explain it in a 3-dimensional way. Even in case of electrical engineering, so you take the case of the subject of electromagnetic fields. Correct? In that, you have to explain in X, Y, and Z axis, 3 dimensions. So students are finding it very, very difficult to understand. So in some courses, yes, it is possible that you can teach through online mode, but this online, in my opinion, can never replace the traditional classroom education. So this traditional classroom education will continue to exist. This is what I feel. Okay. And finally, if we stop debating about which is best or what is the future of online education, the thing which we should concentrate on is education for all. Correct? ऑनलाइन अच्छा है या ऑफलाइन अच्छा है या ऑनलाइन आगे जाके ज्यादा रहेगा या ऑफलाइन आगे जाके आगे ज्यादा रहेगा, ये डिबेट करने से पहले what we should think is that how we can provide education for all. So now, instead of worrying whether or not the online education can ever be as good as more traditional forms, what we should focus on is we should focus on how we can use it to deliver quality education for people all over the world, particularly the poor and the underserved. So we should concentrate more on how we can provide education for all. Correct. And this problem can be issued to some extent by using online education. Because in remote villages, correct, in some of the remote villages also, now people are able to access internet. So they may not have the access to a good school, correct, but they can use internet and from internet they can learn. Correct. Okay. So this is the thing. Okay, we should worry on how we can provide education for all. Correct. So this was all about this online education. As to what lies in store for us in future, that frankly speaking, we don't know. Because earlier I told you that right now we are living in a very volatile world and things are changing very fast because of this COVID-19 pandemic situation. Correct. But in my opinion, this online and offline, both will continue to exist. Okay. So I would like to thank all the participants for a patient hearing. Now, if we want to actually see, this was not a technical session. Correct. So I think the doubts will not be technical. So I cannot answer all the technical doubts, correct, because it was not a technical session. But we can discuss some concepts of online or offline education if we wish to do so. So if you have any questions from your side, we can discuss it out.
Participants may ask questions if they have any questions.
Sometimes it does happen that if we have a technical session, then lots of doubts get over.
Yes.
In these type of topics, actually what happens is, correct, generally we discuss as to what is there in future, for what lies in store for us in future. Correct. Okay. So I hope there are no such doubts, or I should not say doubts, but there are no such topics on which we can discuss. Or in other words, I can say that there can be too many topics on which we can discuss, and time may not permit us for that. Okay. So once again, I would like to thank you for. I would like to thank all the participants for patient hearing, and also I would like to thank Professor Ashfaq Qureshi and his entire team for giving me the opportunity to deliver this lecture. Okay. Still, I would like to ask that still, if you feel that we need to discuss anything, I am there in this meeting for a few minutes. We can discuss it.
So on behalf of Government Polytechnic Palanpur, I Ashfaq Qureshi. Okay, Jabbar sir is asking something. Yes sir, JV Qureshi sir, you may ask.
बस एक बात थी सर से पूछनी।
हाँ जी।
नॉर्मली हम स्टूडेंट के साथ तो इंटरेक्शन करते हैं हम लोग क्लासेस में, एग्जामिनेशन में। हमारा जो टाइम टेबल होता है उसके अकॉर्डिंग तो हमें ये शेड्यूल पेरेंट्स के साथ भी शेड्यूल मीटिंग हम अगर करें तो थोड़ा और भी इम्प्रूवमेंट आ सकता है। स्टूडेंट भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो और पेरेंट्स को भी पता चले कि ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन में फैकल्टी इतना मेहनत कर रही है।
Yes, very nice point raised by you. Yes, correct. Because parents should also know how much we are working. Correct. Because see, online education is really difficult to impart. आपकी बात सही है, क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स को पूरी तरह से कॉन्सेप्ट समझाने में बहुत दिक्कत होती है। करेक्ट, दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड इट प्रॉपर्ली थ्रू ऑनलाइन मोड। तो आपकी बात सही है, वी शुड नॉट ओनली इन्वॉल्व द स्टूडेंट्स बट वी शुड आल्सो इन्वॉल्व द पेरेंट्स। और पेरेंट्स भी इजीली आ सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑनलाइन मोड है, तो दे डोंट हैव टू कम फिजिकली टू द कॉलेज फॉर अटेंडिंग पेरेंट्स टीचर मीटिंग। करेक्ट, दे कैन अटेंड इट फ्रॉम द कंफर्ट ऑफ देयर होम्स। So that's possible, yes.
Thank you, JV Qureshi sir, for asking the question, and thank you, Mehta sir, for answering that question nicely. And on behalf of Government Polytechnic Palanpur, I Ashfaq Qureshi express my sincere gratitude towards Dr. H.D.Mehta sir. And he wonderfully explained about future of online education, and whatever sir concluded that we cannot run only online or run only offline. We have to run our classes in blended mode of learning, and sir explained that in a nice way. And sir, I have received a few feedbacks for your session. I am sharing that. I will share the Excel sheet of feedback with you also. It is very good session, informative session, informative. The videos shown were very interesting, nice presentation skills, expert is knowledgeable and excellent, informative session. Sir, you have a good knowledge of regarding future of online education. Nice presentation with appropriate example, good presentation. So sir, right now I receive only 19 feedback. Other faculties will share feedback with me. I will share all the Excel file with you, and I will also share the recorded session with you, sir. So I again express my sincere thanks, because sir is my guru actually. Sir had taught us many subjects during my graduation at Chandkheda. So we attended his classes at even after 5:30. So actually it is quite a good occasion to that sir is here with us. So thank you very much, sir, again. And we wish that we will have some technical session with you in future classes. Thank you, sir.
Sure, sure. It was a privilege for me too. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye, sir. So all the participants are informed that our next valedictory will be at 3:30. So you all should be joined at 3:30. We are going to discuss something, and we will have that some task for you people. So it is not a heavy task, don't think that much, but we will meet at 3:30. So our valedictory will be there. So we will meet. Please join at 3:20. Thank you.